Just wanted to apologize to everybody for the last video that I released with no sound. That was an issue with my mic. I got it sorted out now, and I'll make sure and check the videos before I release them. So I since deleted that video, so sorry for the notifications that you may have gotten. As you can see, all my trades are closed out. Well, they are, and I received a 2.28% profit on Robert's account this week, which is single-handedly the best week that I've had on his account. And it's nice because it helps with the loss that we just recently had. Today alone with 0.53% profit. And for this month, still down, but only down 4.53%. It was much closer to about 7% late last week. So I'm glad to have made a lot of that back so far, but still have a little ways to go. 4.53% could be made back within the next month, and I'll be to my high water mark of September 1st. Okay, so let's get into the trades. I closed out the NZDUSD trades already, and I'm going to talk about that first. Then I'll get into the trades I've taken after that, and where they were placed, how much risk, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so let's get into that now. Let me show you what's been going on. So this is my personal account, and you can see that it says $0. Now I didn't lose everything. I actually just pushed the funds out of it into another Trader's Way account, and I'll explain to you why I did that. Okay, so let me show you the NZD trades on my personal account. Well, it was just one. So this was the one that I picked. I chose right before the cash rate was announced on Wednesday. And so just 2 minutes before, I did a live stream of this, and it took a few hours for this to push down. It only went down like 25 pips, and then it shot back up. Now I wasn't like sweating at this point. I was just a bit confused why it was moving up. There wasn't any positive data that was released with the cash rate statement, except for them really saying that we're taking a cautious outlook on, and that's why the interest rate stayed at 1.75%. So there was no real big reason for this. I think it was just some price play to push things up a bit, and then to get in at a better price before it started falling. So I held on to my original position. I was considering re-entering here, but realized that it was only about 5 pips from my original entry if I would have entered up here. So it wouldn't have made a lot of sense having two trades in so close together. So I left that out and closed out my trade here. And the reason why is because on the M15 and the M5, there was an inside candle, and I thought that this could maybe retest these two levels again. And I didn't want to take the chance, so I closed it out at a small profit of $87 right here. Okay, on Robert's account, that trade is a little bit different. Okay, here we go. We remove the grid. Alright, so original order, go to the M15. Okay, so ignore these prices or those numbers on the screen. Let me see if I can find a better. Thought I had one recently. Oh yes, here it is. Sorry about that. Alright, so original was placed here, and this was a couple minutes before the cash rate, and closed out for about 8 pips profit. That was a mistake. I had my expert advisor on that closes out trades in profit. It was on. I forgot to turn it off during this announcement or this news, which was a mistake on my behalf. So closed out. I made 300 and $95 on it, and then I entered again because I thought that there's still a lot more move to happen on the downside. It did push a little bit further down, but then it shot, as you know, it ended up shooting back up. Same thing. So I was looking for that support level where traders may decide to push back down, and I was looking at this resistance. So like for no reason it was pushing up. I was looking for the resistance up here to hold, and for some kind of hint or indication, inside candle, push down. And guys, look at this. This is where I feel like my strategy or my ideas shine the most, is when I can show you guys this kind of action, where even on the M15, where we have an inside candle set up, and then directly after my entry, price pushes down. That must be some indication to you that what I've come up with here, in combination with certain places in the market, that the inside candle is a very usable instrument and a very good candle showing, or element of price showing us that trends or potential moves in one direction may be slowing. And look at this, right on my entry it pushed back down. Okay, so same thing happened, inside candle, thought it could retest, and so I closed out. It did a small pullback, and then it fell pretty abruptly after that. Since that time, it looks like it's pushed quite a bit back up, but the initial push from the news was right in here. I mean, this was the first couple hours pullback, and then the delayed reaction. So my assessment of the news was correct. Again, actually, a lot more cautious outlook on it this time. Didn't want to mess things up because I didn't quite have a good plan for Theresa May's speech that I traded the in-head losses on. So that's where I stand here at on Robert's account for the NZDUSD trades. And I came out with a little bit of profit, and that was the $320 loss from the first order, and the first order here, and then $635 profit from the top. And I just did 5 lots and 5 lots on both those, so I'm glad I started with 5 lots just in case things went against me. And they did initially, and then I got in at a much better entry on the second order. Closed out for a small profit. Okay, so let's talk about the rest of Robert's account, and then I'll get into my personal. I really need to clean up my charts here. Okay, I have too many charts open. Alright, so this is the pound CAD, and I had a manual trade up here. This is the one I was talking about yesterday during my no sound video, but I'm sorry I messed that up. So this was a manual taken position up here, and I liked it, and I'll show you why. There was an inside candle set up, or close to one after, but there was this was taken on the 15-minute time frame. I'm actually going to show you on what it looks like on my personal account, because this I took it before Robert's account. Here we go. Okay, so this is what the original trade looked like here. And on the M15, you'll see a little bit better picture of what I'm looking at. Actually, I think I might have taken it on the M5. Yep, it was taken off because of the M5. So the M5, push up, near this resistance up here, and inside candle. I had a bit late of an entry. I wanted to see how price reacted, and I saw it struggling to push up, came back down. I entered on the short side. my second entry here, also an inside candle set up on the 5-minute chart, and I liked it because I was watching price really carefully in here, and you can see that it went down, went back up, went back down, went back up, down, up, and then big down after that. So price was struggling in ranging a very tight range from 1.675 down to 1.672 pretty much, and it was in this tight little box here, and it was struggling to get out. So I was anticipating, because of this action, I was anticipating a big move coming ahead. And I was hoping that I was in on the right side, but because of my hints that I was taking from price, I had good hopes that it would push in my direction. So you know the first entry was taken on the M5 inside candle. The second entry was taken on the M5 inside candle. But look at this. The second entry also turned into a inside candle on the M15 too. So this would have been a good second entry right before the pushback down. But again, this weird up and down, and then this little creep up here. It kept creeping up, and then pulling back down, going up, pulling back down fast. And then this last candle right here, this one that has the big wick, was the last one where it shot up and then shot back down within the candle. And then we had this one right here. When I saw this candle, I was thinking, okay, so we're really close to the same 1.672 level again, so it could bounce up. But after seeing the volume and the size of this candle, and that it was a pretty good strength, I had high hopes that this would continue down. And then after this candle happened, that kind of I guess sealed the deal is the same I'm looking for. There was an inside candle on the M15 after that, and that it's still considering jumping up from there, but it did have too much volume. Now, so what I did on this setup was my intention was to make this a much smaller trade, anywhere from 10 to 15 pips. And after seeing how the action was what was going on in this range up here, and then after this candle here as well, I decided to extend my profit a little bit. So you might be wondering, why didn't you just wait for it longer? Why didn't you hold on to it longer? And I already held on to it way longer than I originally wanted to. And then I closed out here. And this was probably a pretty good place to close out. It was right near a 167 level right in here, and so I wanted to make sure and just lock in the profit there. A good profit. And I also saw this similar trade on Robert's account, although it entered later. I did take about 40 or so pips and closed out near the same area. So really good trade, manual trade, gave us a little bit more profit for the month, trying to make back some of those losses. Alright, so the next entry, this was an inside candle set up on the Expert Advisor. Now it was a bit strange of one. I mean, it wasn't the worst, because I'm still looking at volume from the top to from the top of the push down to here. It's about 81 pips. That's close to where I want to be. I want to be at 100 to 150 pips from the last swing level to the entry, or to the actual entry candle. Yes, that would be about 76 pips. That's a little bit low. I would have rather have had it break this level first before entering. Again, it's happened when I was sleeping in the middle of the night, and so I couldn't control this. I would have probably considered taking this trade out and as a no-go, because there wasn't a lot of pip amount. There wasn't a huge pip amount from the top of the swing to the entry. I want there to be 100 to 150 pips before I take any order inside candle setups. And typically, that would 100 to 150 pips would be right in this same support area down here, or yes, the same support area. And we didn't get any inside candle setups, unfortunately, in here or down here. Nothing happened, so this would have been a no-go basket completely. But since it was taken in the middle of the night, and by the time I woke up, there were already 3 trades in. by the time I woke up. Actually, I think there was 4 trades in. And so I was like, well, I'll just wait to see how this plays out. And chances are good with my money management and expert advisor managing things just fine that I would come out with a decent profit. And you can see what happened. A huge push up and a positive, some positive slippage there, but it was mostly me waiting on this trade a little bit. This was about 64 pips from the bottom order, but if you actually go to Robert's account, you'll see that this was a 0.53% trade at $638. So this was just about double what I typically do with a standard basket on Robert's account.
Sorry, I don't know that one.
And there goes my echo again. So this is very good for his account. I think he's pretty happy with how the recovery is going so far. All right, so it looks like we may have another potential entry here. I'm going to check and see. Nope, no entry yet. There has not been enough of a pullback yet for the RMI to really register. It needs to be above the 70 or 65 or 70 level. And so there won't be anything probably yet, at least on this. And I do think that there's a possibility that this could reverse here, at least have a small pullback. It is at a round number, and so looks like an inside candle may be happening there as well. So that's on the M30, but not enough for me to take an entry. It may be enough for me to take a manual entry. I'll have to wait and see how things pan out in the next 20 minutes. All right, so let's get you to where my new, I guess, personal account is. You can see where the trades were closed out, but let me log in to my new account. All right, so this is my my personal account. Is reading $20,233 right now, and you can see that the new account, since I opened it, was on 9/28. Since I swapped accounts, $370 off of this current basket that you see right here. So this was the first basket on the new account, and you can see how the orders weren't closed at the same time. The expert advisor, there was a lot of movement, price movement going on in here on that one candle, and so the combination of the broker and my expert advisor was a little bit slow closing orders out. It sometimes does that. Most of the time I have positive slippage on it, but there will be times, and there has been times, that I get some negative slippage as well. I'm still really considering taking this order here in the next about 4 minutes, even on the M15, see if I can catch something on this. And the reason why this has moved up, by the way, this big push, was because of the Canadian dollar had some, I think it was a negative GDP today. Yeah, it was a negative GDP, as you can see here, 0.0 instead of 0.1, what was forecasted. Alright, so that's pretty much all I really wanted to go over today. Just give you guys some updates that profit's going well. My personal trading account has done this week 515 plus 370. I've done $885 on my personal account this week. So that is almost 5% on my personal account this week. And I have made back all of my losses that I've had. And if I log back into this account, you'll see that all history shows that I made $4,352 on this account, not including the $370 that I just showed you in the new account that I switched over. So why did I change accounts? That will be the last thing I talk about. Well, I wanted to track my stats so you guys can actually track them on my FX book, but I'm having a little bit of issue still. It's still not updating on this account, and because I want to see how things go throughout time. I couldn't connect my old account for some reason, and so I'm hoping that this new one will work and I can start tracking my results. But so far, I haven't been able to do that. Well, guys, that's it for the week and for the month. And yes, I've had a much better month before in my previous trading, but losses happen, and you can't always control losses. You know, it's just part of how trading works. But I've been able to make a good portion of that back on Robert's account, and all of the loss that I had on that day on my back on my personal account. So I'm very happy. My personal account is what I care about the most at this point. Yes, I do care about Robert's account and what he's doing, but my personal account is where I want to be. I want to get to 50,000 so I can move over to Oanda eventually and go quiet. At that point, once I do move over to Oanda, I will probably I may stop my stream because I just want to be in peace and quiet at that point, where I'm just making profits quietly to myself. But I still got a ways to go. I anticipate making about 15 to 20% a month on this account if I don't have, you know, losses or big losses. I do have a 5 to 6% cutoff on my trades. We'll see how that works out in the coming month if I do have any of those that come up. But so far, I'm in really good shape. I even made a $2,000 withdrawal from Trader's Way this month. So I actually gave myself an income, a bit of an income. Yeah, definitely not a full one. Most people would consider at least 3,000 to be somewhat of a full-time income for, I guess, most Americans. But yeah, 2,000, and then my wife is also working as well, so that helps on top. So I'm hoping to do about 15 to 20% on the account each month, and that should be enough to give myself an income and also continue growing my account at Trader's Way. I'm feeling pretty comfortable with them right now. They've been around for a long time, pretty well established, and even though they are not regulated, so hopefully things will continue good with them until I reach my 50K goal. Something that's interesting though, I tried to give myself 1,000 to 1 leverage at Trader's Way. They lowered it to 400. 400 to 1. It might be because I'm either a profitable trader or they're worried about me, or maybe I was taking too large of trades. I don't know. But I found it a little bit interesting that they did that. Well, guys, have a good rest of the week and last couple days of the month, and I will see you next week. Have a good one. Bye.